Oh yeah, they're coming in. Good. All right, welcome everyone. This is Paul, and we are in the 40th session. This is Atmos. We're gonna hear more from Paul today. Before Paul starts, once again, I just want to thank the team at My Wish, Vladimir, and the awesome guys in your team for sponsoring the EOS Summit, and for also building a really cool platform for developers to get and to start building their smart contracts with ease, and for entrepreneurs to also start testing out their ideas and start testing out what they're bringing to the market. All right. Welcome, Paul. Please feel free to introduce yourself and to introduce what you do. It's awesome.
Great. Thank you, Dan. So my name is Paul. I'm an active community member with the Novusphere project, and that is the underlying infrastructure that the Atmos token resides on. So this is a very community-driven project. Most of the ideas that drive development have come from the community, and it's a project that predates the EOS mainnet by almost 2 years. It was actually going to have its own DPoS-based system, but when the mainnet launched, we realized it was going to do everything that we needed it to do, and so we were very happy to migrate over. So the migration is actually ongoing, but it's over a year period to make sure everyone can do that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the first decentralized application that the Novusphere has launched. It's the EOS Forum, and it's a decentralized forum for on-chain communication. It is the goal of which is to unite all the different communities within the EOS sort of ecosystem. So let me get my presentation going, see if I can get this screen sharing up. Hold on. So I've actually never used this before. What do I have to do to share my screen?
So just hover over your screen, and you'll see a share.
All right. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay, cool. All right, so
Chrome extension. Oh yeah, it's coming up. Just give me a minute.
All right, so really on to slide 2 here. So the problem we've seen is that there's a lot of different communities that have sprung up around the mainnet, and every decentralized application has their own community. There's multiple rooms, multiple formats, multiple platforms talking about things, and this can lead to confusion. It can lead to people not really knowing if they're getting official information, if they're getting information from a scammer or from some sort of group of people that aren't the official members of a project. So what we're hoping to do is unite the various communities under one format, have it be on chain, so you know exactly who you're talking to, you know exactly if they represent the project, and then also allow these projects to better promote what they're doing. So let me go to this next slide here. So this is what the forum currently looks like. It's EOS-forum, and we realize it's a little bit rough around the edges right now, and we've really been working on the back end and making it as decentralized and portable and self-hostable as possible. So right now this is actually served from GitHub pages. It is anyone can run both the back end and the front end. Anyone can host it. They can customize it. It's completely, in that sense, completely decentralized. So one of the major problems that this is solving is that projects can have their own space on the forum, and they can have a way to interact with their community, and everyone can see what is going on with the project. The way that moderation works on this forum is that it's opt-in, and it's also moderation as a service. So you can have a group of people or a single person that you delegate to be your moderator. That way, they take care of the spam. They can remove posts that are not fitting within the community guidelines or whatever rules you set. But at the same time, that moderation is opt-in, so you're not worried about the power of that moderator being abused, and you can decide to delegate someone else or delegate a different group of people. And so we see this sort of developing a consensus model for moderation, and I think it is something that's very lacking in Reddit. And as you can see, this forum is very much a sort of a riff on what Reddit does. It's a threaded forum, and we're actively pushing out UI and UX changes to enhance this experience and make it a lot easier to customize and make it a lot easier to interact with other forum users. So let me go to the next slide here. So this is an example of a mock-up that we've been playing around with, which would be a project-specific subreddit or sub-forum page. So you can create subs on the fly. It's eos-forum.org, and you can create a forum for any particular subject you feel like. There's no asking to create it. You just simply do it, and I will actually demonstrate that in a little bit. So here's what we kind of envision: people being able to set up their own pages for their projects, and then be able to communicate with their community. And so in this example, we have someone saying, a clever, witty, and helpful comment, and then, an example that you can tip. And you can tip any EOS standard token using the forum. So any user that posts content you like, simply hashtag tip, the amount of the tip, and then the actual, abbreviation for the currency. So it's a pretty simple and straightforward interaction, and we're looking to enhance that as we move along to make the tips more prevalent and make it more noticeable that people have been tipping other users. So let me show you the other page here. So this is actually right now what we can currently do in terms of adding customization. So this is a customized theme and then customized icons for Farm EOS. And the idea here would be that this would be their page. They can customize the default moderation. They could customize pinned post to the top. Right now it's just the sort of current default, which just describes that anonymous post can happen in any sub now. So I guess I will get right into the demo here. That's the most interesting part. I want to stop sharing this one, and I'm going to just go live into a big Chrome tab here. Okay. So this is a live view of the forum. There's actually mostly what you're seeing here are posts that are from Reddit. We've actually linked using a pair of bots, back and forth communication from the EOS subreddit. So anything posted on that sub, it's cross-posted to this forum and therefore is embedded in the blockchain. And then any communication out of the forum in one of these posts is actually reposted onto Reddit. So it's already we're linking these two communities. There's a lot of communication that happens on Reddit, but that doesn't happen necessarily on Telegram, where there's lots of places to go to get information. We'd like to see it all happen in one very specific location, so people know where they're getting official information from. So as you can see here, there's this is a user account. You can actually go into the profile. You can see the number of comments, the number of threads, and then some examples of different posts that they've either the user's done or that they've commented on. So there's a lot of enhancements to this profile that are coming, and this is one of the major set of features that we're planning to work on. The other thing that's sort of notable is that, and this will also be moved, but you can post anything you want under an anonymous ID. An anonymous ID is simply a way to give yourself access to resources that the developer of this app has staked, and so that you can post, and they will be pushed to the blockchain using the Novusphere resources. So you generate a public and private key pair, and these are EOS standard key pairs. So we look to the future where these anonymous accounts can actually become actual accounts, and so that's something that we'll be looking into. So now, if I wanted to post, say under here, I can either choose to post under my account. And I'm just going to write a little message here. And then you can either, this is IPFS friendly, so you can post hashes to IPFS, or you can post URLs. I'm just going to URL here. I'm going to post this anonymously. I think that to demonstrate that functionality. And so, here it is, it's posted. You have this anonymous ID, which is the public key. It ensures that no one can, spoof my handle on this. And then I'll show another thing here, which is, how the tipping works. I think the tipping has a really good possibility to help application developers interact with their community. I see a lot of giveaways that happening. They happen through Telegram, and it's you see a developer giving away tokens or doing contests, and it lives and dies in Telegram, and there's not really a lot of value that you can get from a social media aspect. Whereas at in a forum like this, you can do the same thing. You can directly tip users. All the other users see that you're tipping them. The community sees it. Plus, it's infinitely more shareable to the wider community. So we'll go to someone who's posting. Well, I'm going to go to all because I'll just find something random here. And so here's a EOS Crash meme challenge, 50 EOS for the best memes. And we've got a post here, and so I can just quick reply to this. You can tip any, as I said, you can tip any currency that's on any standard currency. I'm going to tip Atmos because clearly I think it's the best one. But so now you'll see that scatter comes up, and so there we go. So we have the ability to tip, and the other thing that you can do is you can upvote posts. Only right now EOS account holders can upvote posts because it's actually done on chain. And if you hold Atmos, you can decide to add an upvote. So currently an extra upvote costs 10 Atmos. So half of that goes to the content creator, the other half goes into a community DAO fund that we have not really decided what we're going to do with yet, but it will obviously go to promote the broader Novusphere application universe we're trying to build. So this is how that works. All right. So then now he has 2 upvotes for his meme, and then I could continue doing that if I wanted to. Let me now go back to. So that's sort of a run through of the forum. I don't know if there's where we're at here. I mean, we're time-wise, I think we're pretty good still, but
yes. I'm just taking some bit of notes on what is really interesting here. It's amazing. I love it. So I don't know if you have anything else before we go into the questions.
No, I'm happy to answer some questions. I think that kind of gives you the broad overview. I mean, I will throw out a stat here that since we launched the forum, there's been 21,000 posts 17,000 of those have come from Reddit, and 4,000 have come natively posted onto the forum. So, you know, it handles it handles a fair amount of traffic, and you know, we're you know, looking to, as I said, make it more user friendly and make the experience a little cleaner.
So you can tell us a bit more about Novusphere. You can tell us more about the DAO, as we also wait for the other questions to come in.
Well, so the Novusphere is developing the technology that underlies the forum. There's Novusphere DB, which powers it's essentially an index of the blockchain. So it enables you to, you know, go back, create decentralized applications that can communicate with the blockchain, and that is sort of the heart of what the forum is, and it's at the heart of a lot of the other decentralized applications that the Novusphere is currently developing. So we have a very kind of interesting project in my mind is we plan to bring anonymous transactions and fungibility to the entire EOS ecosystem using a side state. This is actually something that we've been developing actively, and it's interesting because it sounds very similar to the shower coin that Dan Larimer had announced. But there's some similarities there. We're not really sure what that looks like, but we know that we can bring the ability for, you know, people to have essentially an off-chain version of whatever token they currently exists on chain, and that transaction can happen in a side state and then push back to the main chain. And we have a white paper that discusses that aspect of the Atmos token, and how the Atmos token plays into that whole ecosystem.
Well, that's really nice. Do you mind sharing any links with us so that people can follow up?
Oh yeah, I just put them in the chat here. So let's go to the main site.
Yes.
And that has links to kind of everything else. We're very active in Discord. We've actually just started a Telegram because obviously that's where most of the EOS community is living. So, but we have a very active Discord, and we do weekly community meetings with the development team and talking about, you know, how we want things to progress development-wise, and you know, the sort of updates to the forum. And then let me see. The other thing about this project is that as I said, this forum is completely open source. So we have we go to the homepage. You can actually, I'll post the link to the GitHub, but you can check the code out and see how that, you know, you can customize things. Post that in here. Thanks, Brian, coming in with the Discord link. So that's a link to our Discord. There's the Telegram, and here's our GitHub.
All right, thank you. So since the forum is open source, will any developer who wants to build have to work within the Novusphere, or can they just pick it and is there anything that ties developers back to Novusphere if they decide to?
Right. So we actually have there's a developer who's building a front end for the forum that's a little different use case. So they're building an anime streaming site that content is uploaded through the forum, and sort of using the indexing capabilities, his front end then can, you know, display in a more kind of let's call it slick way the content he has. I should probably, I can post an example to that. But that's an example of someone who's come they actually came to the community and said, this is something I want to do, and so we've been supporting their development and helping through kind of learning how to link their project to the forum and to the Novusphere DB. So that is something that anyone could fork this repository, work on whatever they wanted, but the community is it's very open and it's very interested in helping people work on projects. As I said, we started with the forum because our primary thought was that we would like better ways to communicate and a sort of central place for everyone to meet and talk about projects. And we're trying to build that system so that all the users and all the developers can be kind of in a place and have open communication and very transparent, and since it's on chain. And it's also a good demonstration of the fact that this is what blockchain is all about. It's a censorship resistant. It's unstoppable. I can host an instance of this if GitHub decides they don't want the forum being hosted. Like anyone can host it. So it's in that sense, it's really great. Oh, so we have the site here posted here. Big Blue Whale just posted. So this site is it's an anime streaming site that is powered by the EOS forum. So this is one of the examples of kind of offshoots that we kind of envision being able to take place. We build this core functionality, and then we're trying to attract other people who are interested in building on it. It's kind of what we're all about.
All right. That's really nice and amazing. I'm sure we'll have people streaming into the Novusphere community and proposing what they could also build with the base technology that you have built.
Yeah. Definitely. We hope to see some people coming in, and we'd love to work with other developers. We'd love to try to figure out other ways to promote the entire community.
Okay, so I think Dan is asking if you can host websites.
So, in terms of, I'm quite sure exactly what that means. I mean, the software is designed to index like static file hosting. So no, we're not hosting files. We're using the ability to embed content into to the blockchain. We're not. So it's not like an IPFS hosting situation. It is. It's really more like a place. I mean, you could have the problem with IPFS really is that it's hard to find files, and so our software actually makes it easy to index all that. So we actually built it so it works clean with IPFS. So if you host, you're hosting, you pinned a bunch of IPFS files, you have all these hashes that you need a place to organize them. The forum is a place you can do that. So you can embed those hashes into the blockchain, and then the forum software can host those cleanly and actually show you thumbnails and stuff.
So Tanish is asking how the sort of like bad content is taken care of, the NSFW content.
Sure. So that's actually one of the things that is inherent with any with any sort of forum. You have spam, you have not safe for work content, you have stuff that's objectionable to a variety of people. So the model that we've gone with is opt-in moderation. We think that the user should control what they see and what they don't see. But obviously there's a problem with that, and who wants to have to spend their entire day picking through posts that are objectionable. So the other thing that we're enabling is the concept of moderation as a service. So you as a user can delegate another person or a group of people to moderate the forum. And in that case, you're able to say you have 20 people moderating for you. If at any point you feel like someone is abusing their power as moderator, you can simply opt out of their moderation. And so this solves some of the problems that you see with, if you look at Reddit and you look at particularly some of the cryptocurrency subs, you see an actual concerted effort by moderators to limit discussion and stop content. I mean, if you just go to our cryptocurrency and you try to talk anything positive about about any project on this mainnet, you'll see how hostile the environment is. And I mean, I've had my posts like shadow censored, where I've just discussed, very openly, these weren't offensive posts, they were just technical posts talking about advantages that the EOS has that other blockchains don't. And that's because a lot of the moderators on our cryptocurrency are very committed to Ethereum. You see their bias coming through, and you don't get to talk about like who decided those people get to be moderator. They just got to that forum, subreddit first and created it, and therefore now they're moderators. Yeah, that's one of the things we're looking to solve is make it, put the power back into the user's hands and give everyone that censorship resistance that we're all here for.
So how does the delegation work? Is it like how voter proxies work on the EOS mainnet? Do you delegate?
Okay, yeah. So that is right now. That's one of the major things that we're looking to improve. Right now, you have to you have to use GitHub and set up a proxy account, essentially put yourself on this moderation list. We're trying to fix that to make it more user friendly, so that you can say I'm going to be a moderator and indicate that, and that all that will be taken care of. And that has to do with how well the GitHub API will function with what we're trying to do. So currently it's a little bit complicated, and it probably is the type of thing where we need to walk you through. But that's one of our major focuses in terms of making that step a lot easier, and making choosing, putting moderation tools into the forum and becoming a moderator, or saying that, look, I'm going to moderate for other people. So that's one of the things we're working on.
Wow, that was a great presentation. I don't know if there are any questions. Let me check the sides to see if anything we might have missed out. So I can see there's help here from Chucho. I hope I'm saying that right. So it says, I think this is a question, and the answer is the backend state. Okay. Can't follow where that question is from. Oh yeah, I think it was to answer what Dan had asked, if this project can host website, if it is like static file hosting, and if it is kind of like IPFS. And the answer given was that the backend state, which is a database, is done through the Novusphere endpoint, and then the interface is just a static interface that presents data in the API. So all Novusphere based dApps could be hosted directly on IPFS and use Novusphere node as the backend. Is that
right? That's correct. So that is, I don't know if that is clear enough, but yeah. So it's
quite technical though. But
right.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that's a great answer. So.
Okay, so Tanish is asking, do we have rewards for content curators as well? Do you offer rewards?
Right. So, yeah, so that's something that we're still, the token economics of the Atmos token haven't really been fully fleshed out. Right now, it's simply you can upvote and provide value and push stuff to the top. In terms of the moderators as a service, that's something that we've been looking into, and how we can, if you're a moderator, how can you reap benefits from moderation? Our goal for this is to keep the forum as open and as accessible as possible. That's why we really push the idea that even if you don't have an EOS account, you can use the forum using an anonymous ID, and you can interact with everyone. But we like to use the Atmos token as an enhancer to the experience. So we want it to be an augmentation of your user experience. So some of that will be with moderation, and some of that will be with just the ability to have customizations that are sort of unlocked by people who hold Atmos tokens. So that's it's a little vague, but it's also because we are very much still working that aspect out.
All right. Thank you for that answer. So is there any other question from the sides? I can see Dan, the CEO of Carmel, has been with us. He is coming in for the next session. That is Carmel. And I'd like to thank you very much for coming on to this session. Paul, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. I'm really excited that you guys are doing this. And so thank you, Daniel, for having us on.
All right. Congratulations on how far you've got in the project, and all the best as you go along.
Right, thank you.
All right, thanks. So I think we have 3 minutes to spare. And since we don't have any last questions coming in, people are very happy with the presentation, Paul. I think we'll prepare to move on to, I think this should be the final DAP of this session, the final presentation of session 2. And we have a very lively guest, Dan. So I'll just end this and then we'll meet in the other session.
All right, great. Thank you.